I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Broken quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, they're off your fucking head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness, I just feel shit cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA.
All right, and welcome into another edition of the Postgame Show, the Dude Champions Postgame Show here.
Yeah, buddy.
This is a big one, Jesse. This is a big one. I mean, a big win for the I almost said the Buffalo Sabres, the Buffalo Bills over the and you're the one who's been drinking all day. So
whoa. I'm good. No, dude, no one to blame was live at 10 a.m., dude. We keep going, dude. The Bills win. Electric win, Matt. Electric.
I think what was the last text I sent our group chat? I think I scared the hell out of my dogs with get in the end zone, Josh. That was pretty good. That was definitely a hell of a drive, and we'll be going over that when we talk about our drive of the game that's sponsored by Cavaniss family taxi their services. So definitely want to go through that drive and get through that. So that's big. But what are we thinking on what does this win mean going into the bye for the Bills?
Dude, this was huge. Not just for Buffalo Bills, but for Buffalo in general, dude. Buffalo Bills fans. We always beat them in the regular season. This one feels different. I told you earlier, they're frauds. I told you. We didn't just have our way with them. It wasn't like that. KC's a good team. Listen, it's a joke, right? Dude, the Bills look good. Without some of our top weapons on offense and defense, confidence, dude, Kool-Aid man through a wall right now.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, but no, being serious though, I mean that was a huge thing to do because years past, I feel like Sean McDermott wouldn't have taken that chance. Would have trotted out Tyler Bass on that 4th and 2 and put it up there. I mean, and I have some analytics we'll go over when we do go over that drive. From Jake, our Jake who does the Buffalo Blueprint and does special guest on your show every Sunday morning on No One to Blame, but. It's a pretty big difference between what would have happened for them if they had done the Tyler Bass thing, and rather than having confidence in Josh Allen and confidence in the offense. So I mean, it really comes down to it where that end of game sequence, that final drive sequence, number one, to go up by 9,
so
is
aggressive.
Huge. Yeah, and it was huge to go up by 2 scores at that point, and kind of go through the whole thing. I mean, and we'll do it right now. So I got that final drive. So give me 1 second to pull it up here so I can get that all squared away here for us. And I do want to let everybody know the drive of the game is sponsored by Cavaniss Family Transportation. Definitely give them a call, 716-388-9219. Definitely check them out, and they sponsor the drive of the game here. So with that being said, I wanted to touch on the analytics, and we'll do that at the end. But that final drive there, let me see here. Of course, the internet doesn't want to work.
12 plays, 70 yards.
Yeah, it's huge, and I mean, it started out like we were complaining about it all game with the first down runs. It was absolutely crazy with those first down runs. They would get like 1 yard, -1 yard, 2 yards. It almost felt like they were going. They'd get a first down, they'd take 1 step or 2, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards, and it was like, it put them in a horrible situation, all game, where they had to overcome that.
We do that every game, Matt. Every game we do that.
Yeah.
The offensive play calling has been very predictable. It feels that way sitting on a couch, right? you guys are more in tune than I am, right? And I can't imagine what it seems like to you guys. Today felt a little different, right?
Yeah, it definitely did.
Felt a little
Definitely
different.
did. Yeah, for sure. And that's the other thing too is student body rate. We'll have him on in a little bit. But he even tweeted it out that they changed a lot of the thing, not a lot of the things, but they weren't running duo on the offensive line, and he'll be on to explain that in a little bit. But they weren't running a lot of their normal blocking schemes that they were running because Spencer Brown was out, right? So they really couldn't do a lot of the things that they wanted to do in the running game. But they did have some good runs, some timely runs in there. But like, let's start it off. The first play of that drive, -1 yards, hand off to Ty Johnson. The next play was the 15-yard pass from Josh Allen to Mac Hollins.
That Mac Hollins bet, we talked about it pregame.
26 and a half. 26 and a half. 26 and a half, and that was definitely a good one. And that was the pass that ended up cashing that for you, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Hit the bottom rung. If you're not familiar with the ladder plays, the bottom rung will cover all of your other bets. We played a Mac Hollins ladder, got a little greedy, but the bottom rung hit, and we cashed all that matters.
Yep, absolutely. And then the next play was an incomplete pass. It was that pass that was that deep shot that came up just inches short from hitting Quentin Morris in the hands, and he got wide open by about 5 yards, and Josh just missed him, unfortunately. And then we had a 9-yard Josh Allen scramble up the middle, and then a 2-yard run by Josh, basically a semi-tush push there. And then Josh Allen had the incomplete pass, 1-yard pass to James Cook out of the backfield there. And then the 10-yard pass to Khalil Shakir, where he got a little bit banged up, went out for a play, and then came back. I mean, everybody's worried as soon as somebody like Khalil Shakir with all the other injuries, taking that hit. But I mean, it was definitely showed his toughness there to come back in the game one play later. Then you had the 4-yard Josh Allen pass to Dawson Knox, 4-yard run by Josh Allen, run for no gain by Ty Johnson, and then we had that illustrious, infamous touchdown run by Josh Allen. 4th and 2, and here's what I was talking about earlier with that. So that play with Josh Allen to score was 1.82% for him to be able to score, right? So insane. Would that be from that? So their win percentage before he ran that ball was 81% to win on 4th and 2. If they went for it. Or I'm sorry, that was before. So if they went for it, it's a 57% success rate. Their win percentage was a 92% win percentage if they had made that 4th and 2, which they did. We know that they did. If it was just a field goal attempt, it was only 80%. If they succeeded, their win percentage only went up to an 80%. From it actually went down from 81%, right? So had they failed the field goal or had they failed the touchdown, it would have been 65 and 61%. So I mean, it's a huge difference, and for Sean McDermott to be able to put his trust in Josh Allen to go make a play, and Josh Allen even said it. They had a man coverage a man coverage beater called, and he didn't check out of it, and they dropped into zone. So going over that here, I do want to welcome in our guest here real quickly. We actually have AJ Sobalski hopping on with us, so I'm gonna welcome him in. And AJ, how are we doing tonight?
Great, man. Another Bills regular season victory, and over the Chiefs, I should say, and another one. They've won 6 in a row now. So yeah, what a great overall game today.
What did you see specifically on that last drive that impressed you on that drive? Because we were going over the drive of the game right now.
Yeah, I think they fall in a hole early, right? Get to 2nd and 11 on that first play after a negative 1-yard run, and then Mac Hollins comes away with a huge catch to kind of find the rhythm. So I think Mac Hollins, as limited as he is in terms of a pass catcher, route runner, all that stuff, I think he's done his job at a very high rate this year for the Bills, and he really sparked that offensive drive to begin with. Then Allen trusts Shakir, uses his great hands and takes a huge hit, but moves the chains, and then then it's just Josh Allen being Josh Allen. He's been a leader. He's really worked on his leadership on the field and off the field this year. And I think it's done wonders for the overall chemistry of the offense. And obviously Joe Brady now in his first full year, 11 games in. I just think it's been an overall, great performance from Josh. And, 4th and 2, I'm sure a lot of Bills fans at that moment were like, oh no, like this is about to happen where they're going to get the ball back and we're going to lose on a field goal or something to this practice squad kicker. But Allen did it himself, broke some tackles, and found the end zone. So it was an overall great final drive by the Bills to really secure that.
And we all I don't know whether you were in the stadium or were you watching it?
I was
at home?
I was on the broadcast. I was at home.
Okay. So as they were saying on the broadcast, you kind of have to be aggressive in that position. You kind of have to go where other teams are like, oh, we're just gonna kick the field goal, or oh, we're gonna play it safe and let Mahomes get the ball and play defense, and where they took the stance of let's be aggressive and let's go win this game. Let's even if it's a 5-yard run or a 2-yard run by Josh and he gets stopped there. Let's go win the game. Let's go pick up this first down and do that. And that's different than years past. Like I was telling Jesse before you hopped on. That's different than years past with McDermott, where I truly think that he might have just trotted out Tyler Bass in that situation and been like, okay, let's kick the field goal and play defense, right?
Yeah, I could totally have seen that scenario happening, trusting his defense. They did a really good job all game, right? 2 turnovers in this one. So, I could have seen the scenario kicking it there. But I think with the way the offense was playing, the momentum, you had it early on, right? It was 13-7. You get a nice punt return from Brandon Codrington to set up the Bills inside Chiefs territory, and then they go for that 4th and 2, and Allen throws a pick, and the game kind of flips on its head there midway through that first half. So I like McDermott sticking with it, going back with it, even though it didn't work in the first half, and going really towards the grain again and doing what he's an aggressive coach, man. Like that's what he is. And I don't think you should have many questions about Sean McDermott after this one. He put Bobby Babich in a position to call this defense, let him take the reins of it. They've done a great job taking the ball away. 21 turnovers, tied first in the NFL. And then offensively, Joe Brady, they stuck with him. So I think Sean McDermott's done a great job this year in, year out, and they just need to get it done in January. They dominate the Chiefs, dominate them in the regular season. It's just about doing it in January when it matters.
And just want to touch on this real quickly. This was a Bobby Babich called game, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But no, so that play that you mentioned where Codrington got loose, almost broke it for the a great punt return and would have put 7 on the board. Whereas they turned around and just gave it right to the Chiefs. What did you see on that play specifically? Because Curtis Samuel broke open before Josh threw the ball, decided to throw the ball to Dawson Knox, and Dawson kind of seemed to stop rather than continue to go through the rest of the route. What kind did you break down?
I think it was a bad decision by Josh Allen. Now you could argue and like the same thing. Like I saw some people after the Quentin Morris underthrow, like, oh, he should have got back to the ball sooner. Well, Allen's done that a couple of times this year where if he just puts the ball in the air with a little more arc, which he had great deep balls to Amari Cooper. Beautiful. Like he was able to track the ball, great catches too, but he gave Amari Cooper a chance. I just didn't feel like he gave Quentin Morris a chance on that one. But yeah, specifically with that interception, it was just a boneheaded play. And that happens sometimes, right? He's not perfect. Mahomes lofted a ball into the oblivion on the first play over his intended target's head, and Taylor Rapp came away with it. So great quarterbacks make dumb decisions. And that was just clearly a dumb decision by Josh, and he made up for it, right? When it mattered most, he got it done. I don't think this was a great Josh Allen game, but when it mattered most, he got it done. He led the team down the field. They ended the game with 2 touchdown drives, 10 plays, 12 plays, over 6 minutes off the clock. That's why this team's different this year. They know how to put these sustained drives together. That's the Joe Brady identity. Run the ball, keep the clock ticking, keep the ball away from the opposing offense, and that's what they've done all season.
Yeah, and the nice thing is it kind of looks like they're using that wide receiver screen a lot more this year than they have in years past, and it having a guy like Khalil Shakir to run those actually seems like it's kind of working out better than things in the past. And you brought it up earlier, and I don't like to take digs at people, but I not having somebody like him on the team kind of allows them to be a much closer unit and much more one direction, not one directional, but going in one direction, and they're going forward rather than having to go backwards.
Yeah, I think I never. The problem with like the Stephon Diggs thing is like I always felt that way in terms of like the diva and like some of the problems that he brought to the locker room. But I never said it because of like just the Bills Mafia was just fully, and I get it. I get why. I mean, the number one receiver, 100 catches year in, year out, big plays all the time, countless of times. But at the end of the day, you're seeing it like even with Khalil Shakir on these quick screens, like you mentioned, like he does it better than Stephon Diggs. They tried to do that a lot with Stephon Diggs, right? Those tunnel screens last year in the back half, and they just didn't execute him ever. Rarely did it ever turn out positive. Today they struggled a bit. But again, that big play on that touchdown drive to go up, I think it was 23-14. Shakir had that great play right in the flat and brought it upfield. So the ball in his hands, man, he's so fun to watch. I was low on Khalil Shakir going into the 2023 season, just with the drop issues. His confidence was down. But, man, has he changed my mind with his play overall. And, again, love the team in catches, 8 for 70 today. And overall, just his quick screen game, I think that just brings another facet, like you said, Matt, to this offense that they haven't had in years past and what makes them a different ball club.
Yeah, and we'll have to definitely look at the analytics here, and we'll have our analytics guys go through it and get us the numbers and everything like that. But before going into the game, he was 92.8 was his catch his catch percentage, which is absolutely absurd. Like
right.
For him to be able to catch at that clip. I mean, he set a record earlier this year, against the Ravens for most consecutive catches on a target. And for him to go from being a 5th-round pick now to being basically Josh's, like, I don't want to say number one target, but he kind of is now filling that Cole Beasley role, right?
Better Cole Beasley.
Yeah,
I'll say
absolutely.
it right now. He's a better now. Cole Beasley, like the Cole Beasley All-Pro year. The San Francisco game comes to mind on Monday night where they just torched San Francisco on the road. That was one of the big games with that. But Cole Beasley's All-Pro season was great. But a Khalil Shakir that's still young, that's doing the things he's doing after the catch. Cole Beasley couldn't do that. And he is exactly what they need. I mean, I think you can argue. I put out a tweet that Amari Cooper is the number one target. And I still think that could be the case. But in terms of knowing the offense, I think you can. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that this is the number one wide receiver on this team. He leads the team in catches, yards, and he is the go-to guy for Josh Allen. So, yeah, I mean, phenomenal. A subpar day in terms of his targets compared to receptions. He had 12 targets, only 8 catches. So a little bit weaker, but I mean overall, I mean you can't complain with over a 90%
right
rate when targeted. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean that'll bring his overall number down a little
right.
bit, but
right.
like whatever
well.
at this point.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
well, yeah. But no, and I mean, kind of touching on that a little bit. You touched on San Francisco. That's our next opponent after the bye. What do you see? What did you see today from? Because we got to watch a lot of football, which was great today. But what did you see specifically, or did you catch any of the Seahawks game that can kind of predict what we're going to see in 2 weeks?
Not too much of it, but I will say, I mean, they were without George Kittle today, who's a very important piece on their offense. I'm sure he'll be back. Hopefully he's back, I should say, because I do want to see what this Bills defense can do with that team with McCaffrey and Kittle. Obviously, Ayuk's already lost for the season, but, I mean, dude, they're still a scary team, right? They're still one of the best teams in the NFC. They're not playing consistent football right now. They're choking games late, which could bode well for the Bills. You're at home coming off a bye week. The Bills are very good off a bye week. I do expect the Bills to win this game in a couple weeks, looking ahead. But, yeah, I think this Niners game is definitely a lot weaker than originally anticipated, but still they can beat you. Brock Purdy's a very manageable quarterback that can get it done. And, again, they just choked one away again to a divisional opponent. The NFC West is crazy. Arizona Cardinals might actually could actually win that division, which is a shocker to say with, you got Seattle in there, and obviously the Rams have had a lot of hype. Right.
Makes that Bills first week win a bigger win than it actually was, right?
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Bills 14-3, 13-4 seems very reasonable right now.
And going back to the Kansas City game, I hate jumping around, but going back to the Kansas City game, student and I really, hate the whole, wide
Where
receiver
is Student?
He's coming. He was in an Uber last time I talked to him. So,
okay.
But no, him and I hate talking, the whole wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 thing, because, you go out there and just play offense, try and find the open guy, and that's kind of what Joe Brady's offense has brought. So, but the nice thing about, and I equate it to this, is wide receiver 1 being Amari Cooper in this offense opens it up for Khalil Shakir, opens it up for Keon Coleman when he comes back, opens it up for Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid or anything like that. Hey, we got the Chris Collinsworth slide from Jesse.
Alex, what's going on? I'm not good enough here. AJ, what's the deal, bro? I'm not a student, dude. I'm not good enough.
You're not a student. No, I was just curious where he was because he was the one that asked me, so I just didn't know where he was at.
You and I both.
Yeah, we talked to him about an hour. He said he'll be on about 9:30, 9:45, about the time you get on. So I'm sure he'll be joining us any second. But let's see here. But yeah, I mean
Guys,
this game.
Let me ask you something here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. Did you guys feel the impact of this game as Bills fans against the Chiefs, who always do what they do to us? Did you guys feel the impact of this win and how we finished it and how we closed it? Does that mean anything going forward, or is this just another Bills regular season win? Won't matter till we get to the playoffs.
AJ, I'll let you touch on that first.
It's so hard to like I almost need hindsight, right, to look back and be like, you know what, that happened, right? It's hard to say it now, but I will say the Bills have had opportunities in the past to close out the Chiefs multiple times, and today they did do it on a big stage. They ruined their undefeated season. I'm choking. Their undefeated season, and I overall think that it was just a very impressive performance, and it does matter to an extent. It's not the end-all be-all because, again, they do have to do it in January still, and if they don't, none of this matters. Right now, the Bills are the best team in the AFC, hands down. I don't think that's a crazy take to say, but it's November 17th. If you're not saying that in January 15th or whatever the date is when the wild card round comes, or if they get a first round bye, it's not going to matter. So right now, they're playing the best football they have. I think they're playing the best football in the AFC, but at the end of the day, it still is going to come down to beating them when it matters most.
Well, and then, you brought that up, but years past, I mean, we've said that, after they've beaten the Chiefs the last, what is it?
Right.
They've now beaten them 4 years in a row in the regular season. The one loss they had in the 2020, we still made the AFC Championship game, but then got smoked by the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But the last 4 seasons, we've done well against the Chiefs in the regular season. They just haven't been able to get over that humps. But again, it doesn't matter. Now, yes, it's a great win, great morale booster. We're 9-2 going into the bye. It helps, everything. Best team in the AFC, one of the best teams in the NFL. But if we get to December and you're in a divisional game again, or you're in the AFC Championship game, and you don't beat the Chiefs, and you don't go in the Super Bowl, or go play in the Super Bowl because you now beat the Chiefs, it doesn't matter what we do on November 17th.
Yep, I agree. And I mean, quick shout out to the offensive line. 0 sacks today. Josh Allen, Ryan Vandermark steps in on the right side there for Spencer Brown, and I thought, you didn't hear his name once. I watched a lot of his reps against George Karlaftis on key third downs. He did quite well. There was a couple times some miscommunications where he got caught up, but overall, for a guy that was undrafted coming into his first NFL start, in that moment, in that spot, to walk away with 0 sacks, I mean, it gives credit to the whole entire offense. I talked to Deion Dawkins a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about top to bottom, depth-wise, coaching-wise, everything. This is the best unit he's played with since being a Buffalo Bill, and that's been since 2017. And I think today that proved it. You owned the line of scrimmage. Those are the two things for this game. Was winning the trenches, which the defensive line outperformed what I thought they did, and the offensive line did as well. And then they executed late in the game when it mattered most. And that's what has cost the Bills in the past against this Chiefs team. And tonight, it was a different story.
Right. I mean, we saw it last year in the playoff game. Basically, it was almost a foregone conclusion that Allen was going to throw a touchdown on that play where Chris Jones shoved Deion Dawkins back into Josh Allen and messed up his throwing, his form, his mechanics. And that's one of the things that did happen tonight on Karlaftis pushed Vandermark back into Josh Allen on his interception. But again, I mean, it was a boneheaded play. Let's kind of, try and maybe, get out of that or find a different target or whatever, but or just to eat the ball, because at that point you're talking a 20 yard flip at that point from the return. So, I mean, it just, to me, I don't know. This team feels different than years past. They feel more aggressive. They feel more on top of things. This was supposed to be a step back year for them, right? I mean, getting rid of Diggs, getting rid of Davis, bringing in Keon Coleman, trying to kind of go by the everybody eats moniker and everything like that, and they just are outperforming what I think every Bills fan or every talking head media person has figured that they were going to be.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, nail on the head. I think that's definitely the case. I had them at 11-6. I had a lot of questions going into the year. I thought the offensive line was going to be good, but I obviously had questions about the pass catchers and what the defense would look like without Poyer or Hyde back there. Obviously, they weren't. I mean, Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin. I'm not going to say they're like outplaying Hyde and Poyer of last year, but man, they're really solid back there. Laid the boom a couple times, even when they did get beat. They got lucky on that Xavier Worthy. His sideline awareness there was a little rough, but I mean, he had a great game though. I think he performed really well, Xavier Worthy, and I think him and Coleman will be players in this league that'll be important for contenders for years to come. So yeah, I think this Bills team is definitely better than what many people thought, including myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I mean, even myself, I think I had them I had them 12-5, but I did not expect them to beat the Chiefs. I did not expect them to beat the Texans. I didn't expect them to beat the Ravens, and I saw a couple other losses, but now, like literally, the week 12 comes and they win that game. If the Dolphins if the Dolphins lose next week, that wraps the season, or that wraps the division up for them already. 6 weeks in advance, 5 weeks in advance. And they didn't have the division wrapped up until the last. It felt like the last play of the game against the Dolphins last year.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle the late stretch. If they're in that 2-3 seed, let's say Kansas City just takes care of business the rest of the way, and they really can't get it. I'll be interested to see that final game. I think it's against the Jets, right, or is it against New England? I think it's New England, right? Sorry,
it's New England.
It's New
England.
Yeah. So that final game against New England, do you rest? I would say, as long as you're not getting the 4 seed, you're okay. Because I think right now you're looking at the Chargers are going to be the 6, Ravens probably the 5 unless the Steelers choke late. You probably get the Steelers in that 2 or 3 seed. I mean, I don't really care if they play Pittsburgh on the road or at home in that wild card round if they're to get past, or in the divisional round, if they're to get past the wild card. So it's shaping up quite well. It looks like the Bengals season might be over, which I was worried about going into this week with the Broncos choke. Help the Bengals' chances, but now the Bengals are getting absolutely destroyed, and they just haven't been good analytically this year, and overall just can't stay healthy. T. Higgins has been hurt. So, I mean, you're looking at potentially the Broncos. It's probably going to be the Broncos. Not probably. This is a long ways away, but Broncos, Chargers, Ravens for those wild card spots, unless they got a Pittsburgh choke and the Colts get hot. But, yeah, overall, I mean, those are looking like your 7 right now, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it late. If they want to go for the 2 seed, or they're like, you know what, let's rest our starters, get an extra week, let's get the 3 seed, host a wild card, and then, I mean, if it really truly matters about Pittsburgh playing them at home or away, I don't think that should be the case because they can beat anybody when they're playing their best.
No. Our schedule versus the Chiefs' schedule is so much harder to round out the year. And we finish Patriots, Jets, Patriots, but those teams want to knock us off. Those are not easy games. Throw the records out. Drake May's playing good. I know the Jets lost again today. We could all kind of look at that and just kind of laugh a little bit. But you think they're just going to let up second last game of the year when we have something to play for? Those are 3 hard games to finish the year.
Yeah, I would agree. Divisional games are always tough. You see, every division, it's always a battle, no matter who you're playing.
All right, and we'll add in our. I know you got to go here, AJ, but we'll add in student here real quickly for a couple seconds for you. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. If I don't get to let you out of here, so
yeah, no problem. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you.
AJ, it's been a minute, man.
Hey, what's up, student? How you doing?
I have 2 questions real quick because I know you gotta go. What's more impressive, you conquering the golf course and the Frisbee golf course, or Alec Anderson's maturity and his play this season? Embrace the debate.
I'm gonna give you a different answer to that. I think it's Ryan Vandermark for me right now.
Tell me, man. I like that answer.
Yeah, I watched him exclusively, especially on those third downs, and I saw him line up against Karlaftis. Now there were a couple times where the Chiefs sent some pressure and there was some miscommunication. But Josh Allen left, the game with 0 sack. He was not sacked once. First time since 2021 in the regular season that he's left the game against the Chiefs with no sacks. To fill in for Spencer Brown in that spot in your first NFL start, undrafted out of 2022, I think I'm just blown away with the offensive line as a whole. And how they really performed today. It was unbelievable. I think that's where it starts and finishes is the trenches. Defensive line outperformed and offensive line outperformed. I think.
Now, do you think that comes from the continuity of all 5 from last year, or do you think we're building something greater with these additions of some of these late round players? Obviously, we got Ryan Vandermark from the Colts, and we got Alec Anderson, kind of a late round guy. Unfortunately, Tommy Doyle, with the drop foot, we probably haven't seen that. Do you think that it's building on, or do you think it's almost its own identity when you can rely on even more Hugh Morris, Alec and stuff like that? I'm just curious, your thoughts.
Yeah, I talked to Deion Dawkins. I said this previously a couple weeks back, and he told me that this is the best unit, top to bottom, like not just starting 5, like top to bottom, depth included. You got Cedric Van Granger, throw him in there. Richard Garage, like they just have a lot of pieces on this offensive line, and I mean the depth now has been tested. Now not to a crazy extent, but still, you had a right tackle that's never started.
You still got Chris Jones there,
Right. Right. Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's quite.
AJ, I had 2 more things. Can you confirm the story that you heard my voice in a top supermarket? You looked at me with your significant other, and you go,
yes.
"Student."
Yes,
Is that
I did.
Story?
I do confirm. I do confirm. I can't
Hey,
confirm.
and part 2, on behalf of all you champions, man, you're doing it right. Paving your own vet, you got the badge, everything like that. Here, in embracing our own media network, you're accessible, which is amazing. You're doing it the right way, and you're doing it for the enrichment of the fan base. So on behalf of all of us, AJ, great job, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I know we've tried a couple more times. I know I went to Lita Powell's a couple weeks ago. Great food.
Okay, now he's being mean.
Now he's being mean. So
AJ, last thing. Good to be seen, baby.
Good to be seen. All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah.
Yo, I love that guy.
Right?
Hell of a golfer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I remember one time me and him were playing, and I forgot I invited Mike Bunt. He was in the parking lot. And, we were on the 8th hole, and he goes, "Where you guys at?" I'm like, "Oh, we didn't play today."
Whoops.
Is he being student, or is he being serious? So, what you guys already touch on? Can I impart anything else, or no?
I mean,
Uber.
we
I got 8 friends at the stadium still. Stranded.
Oh, really?
Surge pricing. I went to Lyft, just going from Hoax, and I got $147 to go 7 miles.
Oh my!
Hey, you want to be a big market team? You got to pay the PSL.
I mean, you could have just texted me or called me. I would have taken you home. I don't care, but whatever.
I don't try to have any more forced communication than I want to. So
yeah,
do you guys do the P and the P or no?
No, we literally just we got to talk a little bit about the drive of the game, and then AJ hopped on, and we've been talking to AJ for a bit.
Can I get some aggression out? Not let my soul cry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stand still for a second.
Shut the fuck up about Tyler Bass. Shut the fuck up. You fucking heathens. At some point, you're grilling them and be like, trade him, kill him. Send him to the monarchy of the British Empire. Yo, you're going to need him later in the game. And he showed up, Yeah. We got to be supportive, He hears everything. In a confidence-driven position that is no more procedural than any other position, right? Besides your breakfast order after your lift, don't inflict more noise.
Yo, so okay, with that being said, why would McDermott not kick that field goal on 4th down to impart a 51-yard field goal? Couldn't give him the confidence that he needed after
well, that's
that
what we talked about pre-show. Is that McDermott, or did Joe Brady really feel like he had one dialed up? And that's
who makes that call?
We'll never know.
You'll never know. You'll never know. You'll truly never know. And
But Jesse, what do you think? Was that him? Letting him get the reins of the buggy. Was that a McDermott call? Because I feel like we shade blame because it's easy. But if we're calling it a 3-headed horse, Joe Brady, Bobby Babich, Sean McDermott, we'll never know where to assign situational decisions.
Yeah. Agreed. No,
but it's still a good question. I don't know why.
I'm just griping, right? I felt like it was a good spot to earn his confidence back. That's how I felt. against a KC defense that is stout, ended up stopping us anyways, right? Hindsight 2020. I get all that. I just thought it was a good spot, earn his confidence back, drill the 51-yarder, and go up, right? Go up 2 scores.
I don't know if you saw my tweet of how I view that play breaking down. Vandermark got his grits cooked a little bit.
Yeah, we
No
talked
kick
about
slide
that
there.
with
It
AJ.
was brace for impact. I think that was supposed to be a 2-pump rollout. I drew it up what I thought. I don't think the X would be there. It doesn't matter because you're rolling out the boundary on it wouldn't matter. But I think that was supposed to be a 2-pump rollout to catch him in stride. Now what you see is a blowback from Ryan Vandermark. I mean he gets his shit cooked.
Yeah.
And that crowds the pocket. So now he's got to make a condensed throw that wasn't organic. You know,
Listen.
we could say Knots. I don't think that throw should have been there with Knots. I think it should have been in stride, probably outside the hash.
But converting or not converting that play, I still think pre-play, give Bass his confidence back right there.
Don't you think we already had it with the 61?
And on top of it,
that's not a situation to test or to impart or to give. We had no spare bits to give. That's execution, and I think
another missed extra point though. People are fucking
right. Yeah,
yammering.
I get.
Matt, where you at with that?
I get that, and my thing too is we forget a lot of times who we have back behind center in Josh Allen. I mean, not that we forget, but it truly feels like anything fourth and 4 or less is probably the way that the game was going. Like I'm if we're not at home and we're down by 3. Yeah, maybe he kicks that field goal there, but you're up by at that point. You're up on the Kansas City Chiefs. You basically held Mahomes to like nothing at that point. Why not try and go for the jugular at that point? Try and push that ball down the field. Try and pick up a 4th and 2 with Josh Allen, who we saw picked up a 4th and 2 at the end of the game. Same type of thing, and the offensive line blocked very well, did what they were supposed to do on that, and it kind of felt like it was a very similar type play, and that's what was going to probably happen is Josh is probably going to roll out and either make the linebacker make a decision to stop Josh Allen, and he pops it over top to Dawson Knox, or he picks up the first down and maybe picks up 5 or 6 more yards because the linebacker has to come up and make that play.
I appreciate
Nothing
the
to add.
aggressiveness. And if you're gonna be aggressive, you gotta do it all game. So if it doesn't work once, you have to follow
I think
through,
there's
right?
duality there. I think you can be aggressive all game, or you pick your spots.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
There's duality, But
I
there
thought
isn't
that was a good
duality that
spot.
we have to do. All of us have to celebrate a win, just for at least 10 seconds. You guys ready to do
Yes. Oh my dude, that win.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god.
I got royalty inside my DNA. Broken quarter piece got war and peace inside my
this? Okay, we can't rip out Z-Bot that much. That was fun. It's a win.
That was great.
We'll see him again. I don't think we're gonna
Yeah.
win or lose the same way. Can you guys pick a spot in the last year where the win in the regular season and the loss in the playoffs were at all of the same litmus?
No,
Not
I
really,
mean,
right?
and let's be serious. Like this goes back to 2020, and the Bills lost at home in a very, very close game. Came within inches of recovering a fumble and probably potentially going in for a game-winning score, or kicking a game-winning field goal. But then they get blown out against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
But then we win.
Then we.
Sorry.
Then 2021, we beat them we smoked them in the regular season on that Sunday night or Monday Night Football, whichever it was. I can't remember at this point. I think it was Sunday Night Football, but the Bills smoked them. So it's like, oh, we go up against them in the playoffs, and that's the 13-second game. And then
I have to get angry one more time, by the way.
yeah, go ahead.
The ding dongs being like, "Oh, the run's not working," all that other shit. You think we're gonna fucking win Trey or a 7 or duo with Ryan Vandermark? It's gonna be a different run game. We don't have different like fucking rabbits and hats. We're true to the course of our blocking scheme. It's going to be intrinsically different. Ryan Vandermark versus Spencer Brown. I mean, some of the mundane we're not getting what we normally get is because we don't have the players that we normally have. So all the ding dongs, they're like, it's not working. You schemed for months and months and months and months. If you truly believe in it, why are you going to change it on a litmus test of fucking 30 minutes? There's no such thing as halftime adjustments. And like, how are people not processing that? Like, our guy that we just paid a shit ton of cash to wasn't playing, and Ryan Vandermark, this is his first meaningful reps. We're going to play within the same scheme, but we're not going to have the same nuance with Deuce, Trey, seven take like that. Can we give credence to like, how dare we think it's all going to be the same? It's just plug and play. This shit's hard, bro. Matt, I feel like you're texting me to shut the fuck up, but I had to get angry.
No.
You bag one American, Jesse?
Co-sign that, student. Bills fans are going to gripe until we win the big one. That's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, I mean, both student and I have said it multiple times. It's hard to win football games. It's hard to win. It's hard to win multiple times against people you see twice a year. And basically, 4 out of the last 5 years.
Division and Chiefs.
4 out of the last 5 years, we've seen the Chiefs twice every year. So they have just as much book on us as we have on them, and for whatever reason, we haven't been able to get over that. As Tony Romo said on the broadcast, that championship caliber that Patrick Mahomes has. Whether you believe it or not, the guy's won 3 Super Bowls. Well,
unlike Tony Romo, I kind of do see some changes. I'm just so happy we won. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was
huge. My Sons of Erie, the P and the P. We call it the peak in the pit. What was the peak that led us to illustrious victory over the KC Chiefs, champions of the AFL, not champions today? And what was the pit that we got to clean up, boys? Matt, I'll start with you with the peak. Jesse, I'll hit you with the pit, and I'll tll you who wins. And I'll
all right.
Well,
I'm going to bring Jake up here so we can get kind of the analytical side of things, and then Jesse can hop off and we can finish up with Jake. For me, the peak was Josh Allen, and I said it Friday night. It has to be Josh Allen. He's got to step up and be Josh Allen. He's got to be Superman. And I tweeted out from the Do account is when he scored that final touchdown was the gif of Superman, because he literally took a play that analytics-wise was 1.82% for him to score on that. And
Jake, can you check that?
Yeah, let me check that.
That came right from Next Gen Stats. So, but no, I mean, I'm being serious. Like, Josh Allen had to be Josh Allen tonight, and he was. He was every bit of it. He was every bit of everything that Josh has been in his good times, and he was every bit of in his bad times. He threw that interception. Even though we talked about it a little bit, but even when we had AJ on, it was a boneheaded throw. He should have either tucked the ball and tried to pick up something, or because it was a 20 yard swap in what they had, because he threw the interception. They took it. They started 20 yards better than where they would have.
See, I don't think that was that bad of a. I don't think that was that bad of a decision by him. That's on Knox. Knox stopped his route. Like, Knox has to keep running that route. He thought that Knox was going to be there. The left side was open, and that's where I thought he should have gone. What are you shaking your head no? Like, Knox should have kept running that route.
We literally just did this 45 seconds ago, but this is what I believe, and I'm not saying I'm right. Ryan Vandermark got the pocket pushed on him. I believe that was a 2-pump rollout, and that condensed the throwing mechanism. He's got a guy in his face, altered it. That probably should have been an outside the hash boot, the way I threw up on Twitter. And there should have been continuity there, but that was doomed from the get. He didn't even get a kick slide in. It was like hit and embrace. He got his balls. He got his dick ripped off his pelvis.
For sure, but it wasn't a one person failure play. Like, there were multiple people that messed up on that play. But
the crux of the way I think it was drawn up is a sound kick slide, and you almost want him out because all he needed was 3 steps, and Knox needed was 3 steps to get out that side of that hash. I don't know. I think they're both valid. I'm interested to see all 22.
But isn't it a leverage route by Knox as well, though? Like, if you're reading that, like, My understanding of that route by Knox is he's got to keep flowing away from the defender, not stop.
Correct, but it's also a west-north uncertainty route. It's a trail route, right?
Yeah.
Because if Knox keeps going, he can go far. He can go far west to the sideline, or he can start cutting it up, and now he's got to communicate with safety. I think it was more far west. It just never got there.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like it was missing a little cayenne pepper? Like it never fully formulated, but unfortunately it was just a bad soup.
You could argue the same thing happened on the 4th and 2 play with Josh as well, that he ran and scored. If you watch that back, watch what happened on the right side of that play. Like, I really want to know what the actual call was. I really want to know what the call was on that play, the original call. If you watch it,
Matt, I'll do it. Let me text Eric Wood. Oh no, another podcast.
Hey, it didn't restart the day yet. We're still at 0. So,
all right. We've had 0 days before student leveraged his insecurities and mentioned the player he knew. So
Jake,
Jesse, we go to you. The pit.
The pit was the rushing attack. I thought it was going to be a little stronger. I know Kansas City has the best rushing defense. I know all that. I love our backs. I love all 3 of them, and I thought they would do. I thought
love all
they'd
4,
do more.
Josh.
My peak before the pregame was Josh Allen rushing. He went 12 for 55 at a tud. You're welcome for the peak. That's kind of like an Everest peak for that. You're welcome.
Who was it? Did Hollins hit?
Yeah,
Matt Collins bottom rung.
He hit his first rung. Yeah.
No. Did he go over 26?
Yeah, he hit 27.
You motherfuckers! God damn it!
Love to see it.
No one to blame.
Love to see it.
Hey,
you gotta cover your ass with the lowest rung, man.
Protect your goddamn neck. Who's excited for a week off next week?
I do want to know how much the Spencer Brown injury though messed up their running game plan, because like you said, student, like I think a lot of what they want to do with Alec Anderson, the duos, stuff like that, you're just not going to do with Vandemark in there. So
yeah, it's hard.
Right, and they've been getting really good at the outside zones, right? Like you're not running outside zone with Vandemark in
running
there.
A dynamic duo.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, Ryan Vandemark's a big cat, because Matt and I've seen him. Ryan Vandemark's a big cat until he's standing next to Spencer.
Yeah. Well, it's also too like you're not just doing that against some team.
College offers, Connecticut, Monmouth. For the brand.
Monmouth. Yep.
Shout out to Monmouth again. Beat Villanova.
Yep. So, but I mean, you're going against Chris Jones and Wharton. Like those are 2 really good interior players. Yeah, that's.
Anything surprise you, Jake?
I think the D line for me, our D line. I thought the pressure they could generate with 4. And then I really like the alternating spying with Bernard and with Dorian Williams.
You noticed that?
Yeah, that was really nice. They switched it up there and changed the looks. And, yeah, I really liked it, man. They did a really good job contain rushing.
What did we want before this game about spies and blitzes? What did we say?
No one less athletic than Patrick Mahomes should be chasing Patrick Mahomes. Yep. And they did that very well today.
I do want to give a big shout-out, though, to Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones. Especially Ed Oliver. He's not going to show up in the stat sheet. I think he had 1 tackle, but he had a hell of a game, man. He really disrupted the interior.
Daquan Jones isn't going to show up either.
And he did too, man. He disrupted.
I missed a segment.
Yeah, he really he showed up, man. That one pressure where Mahomes.
I wish we could have given him the
out of the pocket. Right. Yeah, he caused it for sure, man. So
because the pressure doesn't have that je ne sais quoi like an interception does, That's not exactly going to
or a sack or
yeah.
But yeah, those guys interior, man, because we've been shitting on them. We've been shitting on both those guys for a lot of the year, and the last couple weeks they have really turned it on. Both of them are now in the top 15 for pass rush win rate for defensive tackles.
You want to hear something else that's in the top 15? Your boy Sherm. He's great.
Yeah, sure. Sherm's the man, dude.
Yo, I'm like he's throwing out like a lot of language I know, and then he ends on a story that I didn't even know we were telling. But at the same time, it was entertaining. But loves you, loves Whittle, curtains. So I'm gonna enjoy the bye week. It's a good time to get healthy. A very good time to get healthy.
Yep.
I'm not sure we all can have very pointed feelings about when our bye week occurs, but I can't really think of a more convenient or a nicer time to have it. Milano, we can rest up a little banged up wide receiver. We got Kincaid. We can work through all that. They're
Dawkins
not all
now,
manageable, healable
Josh
issues
now.
in 2 weeks. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
manageable, healable issues in 2 weeks. But if I'm a Pokemon, if I'm Squirtle, because I was sweating at Mafia House so much, I feel like my mantra or my Liverpool or the Pokeball, I feel like I get 15% back because the greatest you're gonna feel ever is the first day before contact, Matt. When
When you
You're
tape,
taping your
when you put
ankles.
the tape on. Yep, when you put the tape on.
So
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. I mean, you get after the bye, you're probably getting back Spencer Brown. You're probably getting back Keon Coleman. You're probably getting back Matt Milano. You're probably getting back Dwayne Carter. You're probably getting back Dwayne Smoot. If not
Kincaid.
not getting back Mike.
Kincaid too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kincaid.
Edwards.
Mike
No,
Edwards.
Jake,
yeah,
Jake, what's the deal there?
What,
In
with
your,
what?
in your fandom and opinion, Mike Edwards.
I think he thought
What?
he
13
was.
in 3 weeks?
I think he thought he was given. He wants to be given starter, and I think he thought he was going to play in Tennessee as well right away, and they probably wanted him to earn it as well. And he said, "F this! Like I'm not in a place to want to do that." And so,
I think a lot of people owe Sean McDermott an apology.
for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So, Jake, what do you got going on this week? You gonna take it easy on the off week? You doing anything with the family? You got anything planned up? By the way, the ref report is man, that is fuego. People love
That
that.
was fire. Yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, it's consistent. It's to the screws, and it kind of for the layperson, kind of manages expectations. I didn't hear. Maybe that was us. Maybe someone else. I shut down everything pretty quickly. That it's the Chiefs. By the way, that pick play, Mac Hollins, take it deep. Okay, collisions happen. It's a collision sport. Okay, we're not all driving out smart cars and Priuses. Okay, some people are shoeless, and driving Ford Raptors, and they're just trying to make a deal squeal. What are you doing this week, Jake?
Getting ready for the holidays, man. That's about it. Going away for Thanksgiving, and
Headed to a game? Had to do anything else?
I'm
Have you
going
seen
to Detroit, man. I might go to that Detroit Bears
That's on my birthday.
Bears game. Happy birthday!
that? We all have them. Weird.
You celebrated all
Maddie,
month, bro.
Yeah, Maddie, what do you got planned for this week, the bye week? You got anything
He's
special? I think you got a new show.
parlays.
What's that?
I'm placing parlays apparently, according to Jesse. I'm placing parlays, but no.
Yeah, parlays. How quick? Who's gonna win this one? I'm gonna parlay Mighty Taco with McDonald's, and let's compete with drivers who gets the bigger tip. We're gonna parlay them together.
Get the chicken.
Yo, I'm eating
Big
weird
Mac,
this
dude.
week. We eat too healthy.
Chicken Big
Matt,
Mac.
you got a new show coming up.
Yeah, that'll probably start after the bye. It's the first 15. It's gonna be. I'm gonna do it while I'm on my lunch. Take probably 15, 20 minutes, and just kind of go over the things that have happened for that day. Obviously don't want to start it this week with the bye week coming up, but
Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Exactly.
So we're gonna show up. We're gonna have Michael Stember on for the 49ers game. Michael Stember is a 2008 Sydney Games 4x800 runner. He's a great guy, sushi chef. Really cool story. He's got some stories about Billy McFarland from Firefest that he promised to tell, and he's
Nice.
a lifelong Niners fan. So, man, who's got better than us?
Nobody.
No
Jake.
one.
Good to be seen.
Could be
Matt,
seen.
Good to be seen. Good to be seen. Thank you so much for hopping on with us. Again, sponsored by Iliad Apollos. Any last things on this game, Jake, before we hop out of here?
Yep. You're not out of here yet, student.
No, I was just gonna say, Dan Mitchell, if you want to be seen, I'm blocking.
Clip it. I think just the big takeaways for me are the D line and the weapons. I think without Kincaid and Coleman, the weapons still made plays, and that hasn't been the case in years past. So that's it, man.
Yeah. No, I mean.
Happy birthday,
that's
Alec
perfect.
Anderson's sister. Sorry, Alec.
Wow.
No, we're friends. We're friends. It's platonic. I like a composition.
So, just real quick before we get out of here, I want to just say, great win today. Glad that we came out mostly uninjured, other than some minor cuts and scrapes and bruises, things like that. But definitely a big win for the Bills. But if you
Big
don't
win
do
for the
it,
weekend for Poncho's Army.
Yes.
was,
you guys did a great
it
job
was.
too, being there.
Thank you. Thank you. But if it doesn't matter winning on November 17th if you can't do it in January against the Chiefs when we do face them again, most likely. So with that being said, we want to thank W.GG, the official energy drink of Dew Champions. We want to thank Iliad Apollo's 3785 South Park Avenue.
Altered Grounds.
Altered Grounds.
Happy holiday, Tree Farms, Mackenzie Farms. Thank you.
Was getting there. We have a lot of them now.
Be a real American. Be a real American. Go natural.
Yes.
Don't get plastic.
Buy a real tree.
They have semiconductors in them. Nancy Pelosi's
Get your tree up, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tree up.
Sons of Erie.
Sons of Erie, beauty pools, kayak pools, Fubo TV,
And Apple.
Fat Boy Surf Club. Hopefully soon enough. We'll that's one of the things you're gonna do.
No, we might
during
be
the
getting
week,
some. We might be getting some 3-for-1 apps. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Real quick,
guys.
real quick.
Yeah.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
And with that being said, we want to thank everybody for joining us here. And
Hang on.
The Bills make me want to shout.
I love the song.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. No can call the beat, got war and peace
Jake,
inside my DNA.
go Bills!
Power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle,
Man, I love the song.